Let's count down my top 10 shortcuts of 2024. It's been a huge year and I appreciate your support. Videos like my first Shortcuts 101 video is now at 300,000 views. And you guys have requested literally hundreds if not thousands of shortcuts in my YouTube comments. And we're almost at 650 members in our shortcuts community, which is incredible. So this top 10 list are some of your favorite shortcuts that you've told me are incredibly useful. There's some complicated ones for things like travelers, even pilots that reached out and asked for specific shortcuts. Some of my personal favorites like building a Clipboard Manager for your iPhone or iPad, shortcuts on focus modes, automating text messages, summarizing using ChatGPT, and more. So before we get into the top 10, here are 2 honorable mentions. The first is from David Finley, which he says he loves the shortcut where you can mute both your iPhone and your Apple Watch with a single automation. And I've adjusted it even further. So now I'm going to include this link down in the video description along with all the shortcuts you're going to see today. And this super mute shortcut uses the third-party app Toolbox Pro, so you'll have to have this installed. But what this does is check whether or not your iPhone is in silent mode or not. And then it will toggle silent mode both on your phone and your Apple Watch. It will also set the media volume to 50% if you're going to sound on mode, or it will turn the media volume to 0%. So if you open a social media app and you're in silent mode, it won't make any sound. So for instance, we're in silent mode right now, volume is at 0, and you'll also see silent mode is on the Apple Watch. Well, if I run this shortcut, it's automatically going to detect the status of the phone and change each accordingly. You saw the Apple Watch is now off silent mode, and if I go to the control center, you see volume's now at 50% and we're no longer in silent. And if I just run this toggle again, it's going to detect whether or not we're in silent mode, toggle it again, and you'll see the watch is now in silent mode, just like the phone. And when you're going into silent mode, I've also added a vibration step. This way you can run the shortcut without even looking and know whether or not you're in silent mode or not, because your iPhone will vibrate when silent mode is being toggled on. This is a great shortcut to use as the action button or putting something in your today view, which as you can see, I have tons of shortcuts here. Now my second honorable mention is really something that's just useful to me, although if you do a podcast or content creation, you might like it too. But I have this shortcut called PTS Notes, and that's for Primary Technology. That's my tech podcast with Jason Aten. That's the shirt too, Primary Tech Show. And this shortcut allows me to formulate show notes super fast. Basically, I pull from a Safari tab group, which I'll show you in a moment, and it formats my entire show notes and it even uses ChatGPT to give me a title and description, and then I can adjust that after the fact. This is a shortcut I run every Thursday when we post a new episode to start the show notes. And typically where I'll start is here. I have a tab group for every episode of Primary Tech. You'll see here's all the tab groups for all 50-something episodes. And how I run the shortcut is I'll actually tap and hold on a tab group, and then I can copy all the links that I had in this tab group. When I hit copy, I'll go over and run the shortcut, which pulls from the clipboard. Then it's actually going to present me with a list of the articles that I have chosen. I can select a few that I want to send to ChatGPT to write a summary and title for this episode. I'll choose a few articles here, hit done. Now it's going to send those to ChatGPT and then ask it to formulate a podcast title and episode description. And here's the output of the shortcut. I have a possible title and description here, plus all the boilerplate text that I include in the show notes, like links to our YouTube channel, our community, the social media URLs for both me and Jason, and then all the links for the show notes are formulated in HTML all here. This shortcut saves me a ton of time every week, gives me a great head start in creating those show notes. All right, but now let's get to our top 10. Remember, all of these will be linked down in the video description so you can try them out yourself. Number 10, this came from a request in the YouTube comments several months ago, but this shortcut allows you to get the next event in your calendar, the location to that event, your driving time, and then if you're running late, it will automatically formulate a text to someone with the time that you'll arrive. So in this first action, you can change this to just include your work calendar. So I'll choose my Riverside calendar here. It's going to get the next event in that calendar. Also, you'll need to have an address or location attached to that event. It's going to get that location, the driving time from your current location to there, text with travel time, and then you can automatically choose a recipient if you want this to send a message automatically, or you can show it when run to decide who to text each time. Now, when I run this shortcut, it's going to calculate that driving time automatically, start a new text with how long it's going to take to get there, and again, I can have this automated or type someone's name and send this text message. Number 9, a lot of people asked for this, and this was pre-visual intelligence, which is only available on the iPhone 16, so this would be useful for older iPhones as well. But this takes a photo with the camera, extracts text from that photo, which is a built-in action. It's going to create a new Apple Note with that text. I've also added some actions here, asking ChatGPT to summarize whatever text was scanned. Then it's going to append that to the note it creates as well. So I'm going to have a book page here. I'm going to run this shortcut. I took a photo of that book page. I'll tap Use Photo. It's going to extract the text from that image, send it to ChatGPT to summarize, and then create a note with all of that ready to go. Now, if we go over to Apple Notes, we'll see it created a note with the OCR text from that book page, and the ChatGPT summary is at the bottom. Now, you can change this shortcut to take multiple photos. So maybe you want to take pictures of an entire chapter or a multi-page document. You can change the number of photos here, and then it will extract the text from all of those images and send that to ChatGPT. Number 8, there were many requests this year to automatically activate focus modes when there's an event on the calendar. Ideally, Apple will just add this ability in the future to just set focus based on events, but for now, I've created this shortcut. This gets the next event on a calendar, so if you have a calendar of your class schedule or your work schedule, this is going to get the next event from your calendar. If the start date is in the next 15 minutes, it's going to turn on the Do Not Disturb focus mode and then pull the end time from the event and automatically disable the focus mode when that event ends. I've also added a turn on silent mode and set media volume to 0 when the shortcut runs. Now, if you wanted this to happen automatically without any action from you, you would need to go to the Automations tab, create a new automation, and then for time of day, basically have an automation run every hour that checks for the event in the next 15 minutes. This part will be a little tedious creating the automation for every hour, but then you can automatically have focus modes enabled for your next calendar event. So I'm going to run this shortcut because I do have an event set for 10 a.m. and that's 9 minutes away. So when I press play, it's automatically going to set Do Not Disturb. I heard my device vibrate. And if I go to the control center, we can see that Do Not Disturb is on until 11 a.m., which is the end time for the event. All right, this next shortcut is just something I think is personally cool. I've created a shortcut here using 11 Labs API where I've trained my own voice and I can generate audio in my voice from text using that shortcut. And I've combined that with another shortcut where I pull the latest items from Apple's Newsroom from their RSS feed, and it asks ChatGPT to summarize those articles, and that summary is then sent to that 11 Labs shortcut and creates an audio file in my voice. It also creates an Apple Note with the summary from ChatGPT. So when I run this shortcut, it basically shows me the latest items in Apple's Newsroom, and I'll choose this article, the Apple Intelligence one, and I can choose multiple, and it will send each one to ChatGPT to summarize. But I'll hit done, pulls the text from that Newsroom article, summarizes it with ChatGPT, and then that summary is sent to 11 Labs using their API, all right here in Shortcuts. Now, it just created an Apple Note with all that information, and so if I go there, you'll see here's the summary from ChatGPT, a link to the article, and this is the audio file saved to my files of my voice reading the article. Visual intelligence with camera control debuts on iPhone 16 models, offering real-time object recognition and translation. It's pretty wild. I don't use that shortcut super often, but I felt accomplished building it. All right, number 6, this next shortcut came from a pilot wanting to be able to log their flights with a bunch of information. So I created a big shortcut here, and when it's run, it basically asks a bunch of questions, whether this is a departure or arrival. We'll mark it as a departure. They can list the aircraft type, and that data gets saved to a third-party app called Data Jar. That's going to come into play in another shortcut in a moment. And then once he arrives at his location, he could tap Arrival, choose whether or not it was single or multi-pilot, choose some of these things, which I don't even know what they mean, have a place for special remarks, and then you get a flight report that you can add to an Apple Note or wherever you'd like. All right, this next shortcut was requested by so many, and on Christmas Eve, I actually helped a family member set this shortcut up on their phone. They run a business, and while they're on vacation, they wanted their iPhone to automatically send text messages to people not in their contacts. So what this shortcut does, it pulls the number of someone who sent you a text message, searches your contacts to see if there's anyone there, and if that person is not already in your contacts, it will automatically send a vacation text message without you having to do anything. If you expand this action, make sure Show and Run is toggled off so this runs automatically. Then to set this up as an automation, you'd go to the Automation tab, hit the plus button, go down to Message, from Sender, don't select anything so it happens for any sender. And then for Message Contains, just put a little space there. This way, any message that has a space, which should be most, this automation will automatically run. And then we're going to do New Blank Automation. We're going to choose the Run Shortcut action. We'll choose our Auto Text, if not Contact. And I'm going to expand this Run Shortcut. And for the input, we're going to make sure that shortcut input is selected there. Now this will run automatically whenever you receive a text message, there's a space in it, and it will check if that person's in your contacts, and if not, send your vacation responder message. Number 4, once ChatGPT Actions came out, lots of people asked for a shortcut where they could just talk to their phone, it would transcribe text, and then summarize it for you. But what this shortcut does, I'm actually going to run it while I talk about it. This shortcut is going to record audio for as long as you leave it going without tapping the screen. It's going to transcribe that audio using the built-in action. It's going to transcribe that audio. Then you'll have an Apple Note with that audio file actually already attached, a transcription there. And you can use the Apple Intelligence summary here if you'd like, or ChatGPT summary will also be appended to the note. Number 3, another frequent traveler watching these shortcut videos, they wanted to be able to keep track of their hotel room and easily be able to find the location and hotel room number later. So this pair of shortcuts actually uses data jar, allows you to log your hotel room number and gets your current location. So basically when you check into the hotel, you would run this first shortcut. You would input your hotel room number, let's say it's 302, and it's going to get your current location. So if you run this in the hotel lobby, it's going to mark that address. Then when you want to return to the hotel, maybe you went out for dinner, you can run the hotel room reminder. That's going to pull your room number right there, show it in a notification, and then it's actually going to get walking directions to the location that was marked when you checked in. So you can get yourself back to your hotel and back into your hotel room. And if you wanted to, you can go into the hotel room reminder shortcut and instead of walking, change it to driving directions if you're driving around or want to Uber. But this is another great use of data jar. I'll include a link to the app data jar in the video description as well, because it also is a big part of this next shortcut, which is number 2 on my list, the Clipboard Manager, which is a great shortcut to program to your action button. Third-party apps can't access the clipboard on iPhone and iPad. So what I've done is created a quasi-clipboard manager. So if you copy something, this shortcut is going to get the clipboard, then it's going to add it to data jar in a list. Data jar is a great place to just shove information that you want to pull from later. Then it's going to ask if you want to pull the last clipping or save the current clipping. And if you want to pull the previous one, it'll also pull from data jar, copy it to your clipboard, or you can choose to save the current one. Let me show you how this works. I'm going to program the Clipboard Manager to my action button. So if I go to action button here, go to shortcut, and I'll choose the Clipboard Manager. Now, let's say I have some text like example 1. I'm going to copy that text, and then I'm going to hit the action button because I want to save this as a clipping. This menu is going to pop up, and it's asking, do you want to pull the previous one or save this? I'm going to choose Save Current Clipping, and let's say I wrote something that I want to copy and maybe post on social media. I can paste it, and you'll see that was last on the clipboard, but maybe I want to pull that clipping that I saved earlier. Well, I can hit the action button again, and then I'm going to get a list of all the things that I've copied and pasted. So there's example 1, which I copied earlier, some other things I copied before, and I can choose what I want to put back on my clipboard, and then when I go to paste something in any app, it's going to use the clipping that I chose. And now you have a quasi Clipboard Manager right on your action button on your iPhone, or you can run this in your iPad, put it in Control Center, which if you want to know how to design a Control Center with lots of shortcuts like I have here, I'll link that video above, and I show over 30 plus apps to customize your Control Center just how you like. All right, and my number 1 shortcut for my top 10 of 2024, I know it's one of the most recent ones, but I have to give it to my Ultimate Movie Reminder shortcut. This is a shortcut I've been working on building for quite a while. I've been iterating on it, and it's just something I use personally, and lots of people have found use for it as well. When you run this shortcut, you can search for any movie you'd like. Maybe I want to search for Skyfall. It's going to use the Internet Movie Database API to show you some options. You get the title, year, and a little synopsis, so you know you're choosing the precise movie you want. When you tap on a movie, it's then going to show you this page where you can see all the places that movie is streaming. Then maybe you want to stream it, or you just want to rent or buy it. Let's say I just want to buy this on Apple TV. I'm going to tap and hold on the service, tap copy, and you want to make sure to do this every time the shortcut runs. And then when I hit done, it's going to add this movie and those links to a reminder. And you'll see right here at the bottom, it just added that. It includes the movie poster as well, so that gets saved from the Internet Movie Database. It tells you where you can stream this movie or where you chose from that last page, and even a link to the movie, so when you tap it, it will go to Apple TV if you want to buy it or rent it there. And this works for multiple streaming services. So I added Dune Part 2 previously. I can tap on the link for HBO Max, and it's going to go right to the movie in the app. It also works for Amazon Prime movies, Paramount, so now you can save a bunch of movies and have those links directly in that reminder. Another reason why this is my #1 shortcut for the year is I built a custom GPT. This was my conversation with it, which is pretty lengthy to figure out how to build this shortcut just how I wanted. And this custom GPT is actually available to anyone who is a member of my shortcuts community. And like I mentioned, there's almost 650 users in the community right now, but if you support with $5 a month or $50 a year, you get access to things like my priority shortcuts requests, which these requests will be in the first shortcuts video of 2025, coming very soon. But you also get access to my Shortcuts GPT. There's a link there where you can use that Shortcuts GPT to build your own automations and shortcuts. I've trained that GPT and will continue to train it in the next year as time goes on. It's going to get even better at building shortcuts. Plus, you can access my shortcuts database, search shortcuts based on device, or even search for a topic, and you can see all the shortcuts that I've built over the last several years. And there's also a Learn the Basics where I put my Shortcuts 101 videos from YouTube here, so you can watch them ad-free and in order to have a Shortcuts 101 course. So if you'd like to join and support the community, you can go to create.beard.fm. Join the community for free. We'd love to see you there. Submit your own shortcuts and see other community-built shortcuts, and then you can support for $5 a month, access my custom Shortcuts GPT, the Shortcuts database, and more. And just to be clear, that's not the YouTube Join Channel membership here. This is specifically the Circle membership. So if you want all these benefits, be sure to go to create.beard.fm and sign up there. I want to thank you again for just an amazing year in 2024. Shortcuts has kind of become a backbone of this channel, and you guys always show up and support those videos and engage with them, and I really appreciate it. And it's amazing that there's hundreds of thousands of views on these Shortcuts videos, and I'm going to keep them coming. So leave your Shortcuts requests down in the comments below this video or in the Shortcuts community. I really enjoy building them and trying to problem solve, and now with this Shortcuts GPT, we're going to be able to get even more advanced shortcuts. Oh, and one other quick thing before we go. If you wanted to know what kind of phone case I'm using in this video, it is actually a 3D printed phone case that my son made with his 3D printer that he got for the holidays. He wanted me to review the phone case, so here's the official review. First off, I like the texture and the black color. Kind of has this shiny and matte finish. It is a hyper thin case, so thin that it's thinner than the camera bumps on the iPhone. Cutouts for the buttons are actually pretty good. Clear access to the sleep button and camera control. Better than most case manufacturers, actually. And you have full access to the action button and volume buttons here. But I was really impressed with the cutouts here on the bottom. All the speaker holes align great to the case, and the USB-C opening is pretty substantial, so you're not going to have any problem plugging in your USB-C cable to charge or do some filming. Now, because this was 3D printed, there's no magnet in the back, but it does hang on my MagSafe charger, my Hi-Rise 3 Deluxe from 12 South, which, by the way, if you want to see my favorite 3-in-1 chargers, I'll link that video above. But the case is thin enough, so if you have a MagSafe battery pack, it will charge it through the case, and it charged on my Hi-Rise 3 Deluxe overnight. Now, I do have to deduct some points because it doesn't have the magnet in the case, and I don't know if it'll protect those cameras on a whole, but because I'm a little subjective on this review and my son made this himself with a 3D printer, 5 out of 5 stars. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button before you go. Remember, leave your shortcuts requests in the comments or in the community, create.beard.fm, and I'll put some of my shortcuts videos over here, or if you just want the playlist, it's a great thing to binge over the holidays. I'll put it right up here, which starts with Shortcuts 101, helping you build shortcuts with the basic actions, all the way to advanced shortcuts and automations that I think you'll love. Thank you for supporting and watching and engaging with the channel in 2024, and I can't wait to see what we build next year.